everyone, my name is Deckerlink, the trained unprofessional, and welcome back to Echo! How long do you want me to do that gag? I like it. I like doing it. I think it's fun. I think it's great. But if people don't like it, people keep telling me this is a horror game, and so far, we really haven't gotten much of the horror yet, so I'm starting to think that, like, even though this is 0.2, I was thinking, like, oh, it's 0.2, how much of this game could possibly be done? But people are saying there's defined paths, and there's all this shit, and there's, like, horror elements, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, how much have they packed into 0.2? Version 0.2! So I'm looking forward to that. Also, people keep telling me what path to go for, and I think this game is popular enough that I'm probably going to explore multiple paths before I go do something else. So, a lot of people seem to be wanting me to do Carl's route. Some people also want me to do Leo's, and originally I was going to go for Leo, because Leo seems to be the path that the story is naturally going towards. But, popular demand says Carl, and I want to go with Leo. I'm going to eventually do both, but I'm going to start with Carl just to appease you guys. Since I'm going to play this game multiple times. We'll fucking see how that goes. So, hey TJ! Yeah. We should probably get back. Leo texted me that they're all waiting by the ride. Yeah, I'll be out in a second. The cheerfulness in his voice is forced. I ignore the weird looks I'm getting from the other people in the bathroom and instead inspect my arm. The scratches are pretty superficial, so the bleeding is stopped. No one would notice under the thick fur, even if it's tender as hell. I hear the stall door open behind me, and through the mirror I see TJ come out. He sees me looking over my arm, and his face crumples up again. Chase, I'm sorry. Is it bad? I really don't want him to start crying again. TJ cried a lot when he was a kid, almost every day. Even at 19, he seems like he's still pretty susceptible. It's fine, doesn't even hurt. Oh, well, that's good. We stand there awkwardly for a few seconds, and then I air out my shirt, which was starting to stick to my sweaty body. Listen, it's honestly getting way too hot for me to wait in lines all day. I think I'd rather just sit down and watch some shows or something. Oh, yeah? Yeah. You want to do that with me? TJ's ears come up a little, and he clutches his paws together, the fidgeting subsiding a bit. Yeah, Chase, I think that'll be fun. I can tell he's at least a little relieved. We both head out back towards the ride, and I spot the four of them waiting by the exit. I furrow my brow as I spot Carl crouched on the ground, Jenna kneeling next to him and rubbing his back. Hey, everything all right? Jenna looks up, a sympathetic smile on her face. Carl's not feeling too good. You want to sit on a bench or something? If I move, I'm gonna... That's just what you get for stuffing your face right before the ride. You think they sell ginger pills here, or ginger ale, at least? A joint would be nice. Of course it fucking would be. Like, I've got no reason other than the popular vote to go for Carl at this point. I don't enjoy his character, but there's gotta be something. There's gotta be something that makes everybody want me to fucking go for this guy, so we'll go for him. There are some vendors over there. I'll go check. I'm actually kind of glad everybody's preoccupied with Carl right now. Takes some of the heat off of TJ. Let's move you to a bench. It'll be better if you're sitting down. Slowly, Jenna and Leo lift Carl up, and how I can see from his face that he's really ill. To the average person, our little outing might already seem like a disaster, but this is perfectly typical for us. Nothing ever went according to plan. We sit Carl down on a bench, and he bends over, his face in his hands as he moans softly. Ugh. TJ comes back with a medium-sized cup in his paws. He sits next to Carl. No ginger ale, but they did have some lime soda. Carl takes it and sips a bit of it before sitting back and belching. Ugh, fuck it, I'm done, guys. What? What are you gonna do all day? Sit there? Actually, me and Chase are going to see some shows. You can come with us. Ugh. Guys, we're doing this to hang out with each other, remember?
I'll leave him. We're wasting time.
Flynn turns and walks off, his hands shoved in his pockets, hunched like a stone gargoyle. Such an edgelord. Oh, Jesus. He definitely looked the part, being a lizard. Damn, that was probably a bit speciesist. Well, we all have our phones. Text us, alright? Sure. Jenna turns and follows Flynn, but Leo hesitates a moment. He looks at me before eventually turning to follow Flynn and Jenna. Oh, poor Leo. 5 minutes later, Carl's stomach settles to the point where he's able to get up and walk. At this point, I'm completely wiped out and just want to sit down. Ooh, look at this amphitheater. This is cool. I point out the first stage we see, and they agree. I sigh gratefully when I sit down. You look tired as shit. I crack an eye open and see Carl giving me a sidelong glance. I don't sleep very well in motel beds. I actually woke up around 2. You were gone. Now TJ's looking at me too, and I feel my gut clench for a second. Yeah, I tried to go for a walk down the street and hoped it would get me tired. Well, if that happens again, you can just walk over to my house. I'm up until like 3 every night. Wow, why? Carl shrugs, leaning back and sticking his hooves up against the chair in front of him, earning him a dirty glance from its occupier. Games, mostly. Sometimes I read. Carl rubs his chin, opening his muzzle, closing it, then opening it again. You know, it would be pretty cool if you spent the night one of these days. That house could be creepy as hell when you're the only one in it. You're alone? Yeah, parents are vacationing in the regal paradise and having a bloody good time, they tell me. Carl tries to put on an accent, but it doesn't go. Oh, that was supposed to be an accent? God damn it. A bloody good time. Like a bad accent. Oh, did you want to go with them? Carl blows a raspberry, laughing. Not really. Mom told me right away that weed isn't legal there either, so I took that as them not wanting me to come along. Oh. They did say the chocolate there is real, whatever that means, and they'd bring me some. Guess I'm not enough of a fat ass yet. Come on, Carl. But dude, I'm getting there. Soon all I'll have to do is stand in the front of the mirror, block out my face, and jerk it to my moobs. Oh, god damn. What the fuck? Why do you guys like this guy? I make a dumb snorting, croaking sound, and I feel TJ looking at the two of us disapprovingly. Not the hardest thing to do when you're high. Wait, so you've actually done it? Carl shrugs, smirking at me. Ugh, I reach out and grab his chest. From what I can tell, there's a pretty firm set of pecs under there. Carl puts a mock horrified look on his face. Sexual assault! He touched my breast! Whatever, Carl. They're harder than mine. So now we're teenage girls in the locker room comparing racks? Hey, you're the one that brought up tits. You know what? I can see it, yeah. You're the hot preppy one that everyone likes, and I'm the big fat chick that you're all nice to, but call Big Thunder Mountain behind your back. And TJ hadn't been paying attention, distracted with watching some dancers on stage. He looks innocently at us. Huh? You're the cute, naive Christian chick that only takes it up the butt just to stay a virgin. What the fuck? Jesus Christ, dude. What? Let me feel your boobies, I want to compare. What the shit, dude? What in the world are you talking? No! Small but perky. What the fuck? After a few seconds of tussling and Carl getting smacked in the nose by TJ, somebody shushes us from behind and we're forced into silence. The show starts off with a bunch of mice having a weird sort of hoedown. TJ's really into it and actually starts clapping along. Well, that's nice. I smile. TJ could definitely be kind of cute sometimes. Carl just rubs his nose and leans back, watching with a smirk as the whole thing is a joke to him. As if the whole thing was a joke to him. At this point, my eyelids were feeling heavy. At most, I'd gotten maybe 4 hours of sleep last night. I think about leaning my head back, but the backs of the seats are pretty low, and I just end up with my head hanging over the back. Leaning forward would just be impossible. I could lean into one of my friends. I don't think they'd mind. Well, now's the choice. TJ's doing his thing, so I'll lean on Carl. Also, I'm supposed to be pursuing Carl now. Out of the choice between the two, I personally would go with TJ, but I don't know. Carl is definitely the better choice. Bigger and probably softer, he'd make a nice pillow. Carl, I'm going to use you as my bed. Huh? I put my head on his shoulder and closed my eyes, feeling the soft, puffy, sleeveless hoodie and his bulk under my cheek. Weirdly enough, he was pretty damn sturdy, and I had expected him to be like a pillow puff. Damn, Chase, you that tired? Well, alright then. I feel him shift, and he's suddenly putting an arm across the back of the bench, giving me more support. The gesture made me feel a little warm. I could see TJ's eyes on us, but I ignore him, enjoying the position of intimacy. The sounds of the clapping and fiddles start to drift away as the lack of sleep takes its toll. I feel along the rough edges of rock and dirt. The only thing I can hear is the shower of debris I'm knocking to the ground. The air is stale, and I have the vague feeling that I'm suffocating. I keep going. I'm going to reach the end eventually. I just have to keep moving. I can tell that I'm going down deeper and deeper. The space around me is growing smaller and smaller, and soon I'm hunching so that my head doesn't scrape the ceiling. I can hear footsteps, not quite in synchrony with my own. There aren't any kind of footsteps I've ever heard before, though. I stop and listen. There's definitely the sound of feet, but not like they're walking, more like they're stamping down the ground, making as much noise as possible. This is accompanied by a slapping sound, as if somebody is smacking their paws on the ground as well. I imagine a canine toddler, but insisting on walking on all fours while throwing a tantrum. It's heavier, though, like an adult doing it. That image makes the nape of my neck prickle, but I'm not scared. It's not long after I've stepped that the noise stops as well. Just 10 feet behind me, I turn, watching the darkness. I knew you'd come back. They always do. My voice sounds clogged, muted, like the rocky walls are just sucking up the sound of the sound instead of bouncing them off the tunnel. The stamping starts up again, loudly, coming towards me at full speed. Now I can hear sobbing, sniffling, and a strange guttural grunting. It's just feet away. You're only moving in circles. It veers away just as the words leave my mouth, going back the way it came. I stand there a while, listening until I can't hear it anymore. I turn and continue on, feeling the walls again as I make my way lower and lower. The smell hits me right as my paws hit it. Slick and slippery blood coats the walls of my paws and run along like thick oil. It's warm and fresh, and now I know I'm getting close. A voice abruptly echoes down the tunnel. It's not far away at all. I knew you'd come back. They always do. I make my way closer and closer now, and fear pricks my heart. They always do. I hear muffled screams now, as if someone is yelling with their mouth closed. Now the fur is standing up all over my body, but my feet won't stop. I keep going. I'm getting closer and closer. You're only moving in circles. I'm here. It's right here in front of me, and now I'm reaching out to it, reaching out to touch it. I can't stop. I can't stop. What the fuck? I jump, my head jerks up, and my eyes snap open, looking around wildly. It's like I came up from being underwater too long. Shit! Whoa! TJ and Carl both jump shortly after I do. I look back and forth, and they stared wide-eyed back at me. It takes me a second to realize I'm still at Southwest Adventures. At the stage, watching shows. Jesus fuck, dude, you alright? Carl! I lean forward and rub my face in my paws, trying to stop shaking. I'm fine, just really bad dream. I feel a small paw on my back and TJ rubs it. What about? I'm not really sure. Just a really dark place and some things were in there. That does sound pretty creepy. What kinds of things? I think for a moment. The weird crawling thing, the screaming thing. I pull my head up, looking towards the stage, which is empty right now. Yet there's still music happening. It It doesn't matter. It was just a dream. Hey, what happened to the show? Carl chuckles next to me, leaning back again. You missed him, dude. We've been here for like 3 shows. We've seen like 3 shows. Yeah, we even had a segment with otters doing water tricks. We thought about waking you up for it, but you were in a really deep sleep. That's too bad. I've always loved seeing my people laughed at for the swimming clowns that we are. What the fuck? How long's it been? Carl checks his phone, which he already has out. Been about 3 hours. Could probably get some lunch now. Damn, I've been out for a while. I'm surprised I hadn't at least woken up a few times, considering how the uncomfortable position I'd been in. I guess you feel better then? Yeah, I've been feeling better for the past 2 hours now that I'm hungry. Now I'm hungry. Fuck, how many times do I gotta... I've composed myself for the most part and take out my phone to text Leo. It's already 2 p.m., so I tell him we're hungry and that we should meet up. He gets back to me pretty quick, saying that they are mostly done with the big rides. He also says that we should meet at the center of the park at the food court. We meet Flynn at a table in the food court where he's already bought some pizza. Carl immediately sits down and pries open the box, taking out a few slices.
Of course, you guys have fun.
It was alright. Watched a few shows about our state's speciesist history. Chase took a nap.
Flynn eyes TJ, who doesn't say anything as he sits to take his own slice of pizza, a bit more daintily than Carl had.
Feeling better, Tej?
Yeah, I'm fine. TJ nibbles on his slice of cheese pizza.
Yeah, well, the pizza here is a hell of a lot scarier than any of the rides, so you're braver than I am.
Where's Leo and Jenna?
They're all fucking! They're going at it!
Flynn rolls his eyes and nods towards a row of carnival games to the right of the court.
Fighting? They've been playing those games for a fucking half hour already.
I'm not surprised. I grab my own slice of pizza and a napkin and make my way over there. Keeping with the theme of the Old West, the carnival section of the park is decked out with fake saloons and brothels. I spot them pretty quick. Leo's holding a pink unicorn and Jenna's carrying a green dragon. They seem to be in pretty good spirits, though Leo's grin is a little tight. Looks like a pretty successful haul, you guys. Hey, Chase. Jenna's grinning, looking a little smug as well. You guys finished? We're eating now. Leo shifts in the giant unicorn around.
Yeah, we're pretty much done, I think.
Damn, Leo, you must have won something pretty hard to get that. Yeah, that was me. I look over at the green dragon Jenna's holding. What about that? Yeah, I won this too. Oh, well, I'm sure you've won a couple. Actually, yeah, I've beaten him at every game. well, you're visiting. I want your memories of the vacation to be good. Obviously, it's getting to your head, though. What the fuck? Did my light just flicker? Was that me having a stroke? What the fuck was that? Oh, please. Chase, you should have seen his face. Sour grapes the whole time. Oh, really? I would usually stay out of stuff like this. Leo always got a little carried away when it came to competition. Yeah, my light is flickering. What the fuck? Especially when I was around. But it was kind of funny seeing him act like this.
Let's just go and eat.
Wait, there's the high striker. Why don't we show Chase who's stronger, Oh, Jesus. Leo contemplates that for a second, but seems pretty confident about this one. He's literally almost twice the size of Jenna.
I don't know if that's very fair to you, Jenna. I mean...
He lets that sit, and honestly, I have to agree. Jenna, though, gets a little fox gleam in her eyes that I knew meant she thought she knew something we didn't. Afraid I'm gonna woo your ex. What? Wow, Jenna's going all out. My muzzle flushes under the fur, but that only seems to decide things for Leo. We're exes? I didn't know that. He flexes his shoulder and sticks out the stuffed unicorn to me. I stuff the last of my crust in my mouth and reach out to take it. Jenna does the same, and now I'm hugging 2 massive stuffed animals to my sides, tripling my girth.
Alright, let's do this.
Step right up, test your strength. $3, 3 tries, ring the bell, and you'll win a prize.
I'd like a try.
Oh, we have a take a big strong wolf like you and have no problem at all. $3, please.
Leo hands over the money, and the carny hands him a mallet. Leo points at me with a grin.
This one's for you, Chula.
What does that mean? My heart skips a beat. He hasn't called me that in a while. But I decide to play along. Don't disappoint me, Leo. I really want that stuffed griffin. I didn't know there were X's. I'm confused. I don't... We're learning stuff. We're learning stuff. I point to the griffin at the big carny's long shelf of toys.
Sure thing.
Leo spreads his legs and squares his shoulders before raising the hammer and bringing it down hard onto the rubber-looking pad. It's a pretty hard hit, but the chaser only raises up to the 40 mark.
Oh, almost, Sir Wolf. Try again.
Leo's brow furrows. No, I'm not so sure this was a good idea. He raises the mallet again and grunts as he brings it down even harder, causing the contraption to shake a little. This time, the chaser shoots up to the 70 mark.
Even better. This time, put your back into it.
I can hear Leo growling a little as he raises the mallet a final time, and it brings it down with a snarl, all the muscles on his arms standing out. Pretty sure I feel the ground shake this time as the impact causes a few heads to turn. This time, the chaser only goes up to the 60 mark. Damn! Leo gapes at the game.
So close. $3 more will get you 3 more tries. Would you like to try again?
Nope, my turn. Jenna already has some money ready and hands it to the carny.
Oh, a little battle with the sexes, huh? Well, step up, my fair fox maiden. How will you fare against the big bad wolf?
Leo reluctantly hands the mallet to Jenna.
Alright, beat 70.
Jenna points at the mallet at me, winking. Don't worry, Chase, I'll get that griffin for you. The fuck? Leo snorts loudly, folding his arms and looking pretty annoyed. Good luck, I was hitting that thing as... Before he can finish, Jenna raises the mallet into the air and puts it down into a graceful swing. It's as if she was chopping wood and she brings it down onto the rubber pad. It lands precisely and cleanly, in a sharp contrast with Leo's sloppy hits. It's all in the technique sometimes. I stare, Leo stares, the carny stares. Jenna simply raises her paw into the air. Yay! A few onlookers around us laugh and cheer.
Oh my, the fair fox has won! Come over and pick your prize!
He glances at Leo.
Sorry, buddy.
The carny shoots a sympathetic but also amused smile Leo's way before turning on to the onlookers.
See that? Female fox half the size of this male wolf is ringing the bell. Could one of you be next?
Leo looks mortified, but quickly charges his expression to a sheepish grin. He doesn't seem to want to look at me.
Good job, Jenna.
Jenna bounds back to us carrying the big stuffed griffin. Give those ones to Leo, so I can give you this. I hand off the stuffed toys to Leo, who grumbles a bit as he takes them.
Damn thing's rigged.
Jenna hands me a griffin. Thanks, Jenna. That was really... She leans over and pecks me on the cheek. See Leo's eyes widen as she does it, his ears standing straight up. Oh, it was nothing. Leo stands there for a few more seconds, working his jaw.
Awesome.
He turns away and leaves, his arms still wrapped around his giant stuffed toys. Jenna starts laughing.
Jenna!
Oh, hush, he'll get over it. He's just so damn fun to tease. I have to agree, but not when I'm being used to do the teasing. He's still really sensitive about the whole thing. You guys talked it over, didn't you? Anyway, aren't you gay? I take a deep breath. Well... if we're supposed to go after Carl, then I guess we have to say yes. I guess bisexual isn't an answer. So I guess yes. Yeah. See, he's got nothing to worry about. I'm not in the mood to go deep and go in depth about my sexuality. Saying anything else confuses people. I sigh and rub my eyes with a paw, so still a little tired. Hey, don't tell Leo that I work at the state fair every year. Oh, she just fucking knows how to do it. Wasn't planning on it. The rest of the day is pretty relaxing. We ride a few of the more mellow rides. Leo seemed to cheer up when I volunteered to sit next to him on the Ferris wheel. TJ even built up his courage to the point where he rode the swinging ship. Oh, I hate the swinging ship. That fucking womp womp. I fucking hate that thing. I don't like it. I don't like it. I've ridden one roller coaster in my life, and it was the Timberwolf at Worlds of Fun in Kansas City. Thing's made of wood. It sounds like you're gonna fucking die. I hate that shit. Flynn and Carl rode the slingshot ride together, and with the video feed from the ground, I think it's the first time I've ever seen Flynn scared. Ha! Carl did end up barfing after that one. By about 6 p.m., everyone's tired enough that we agree to head back. I'm still exhausted, so I sleep for the half hour it takes to get back to the motel. When we get back, I notice how good the sun looks right now. With a sigh, I remind myself that I'm here to actually get a project done, not just play around. So as everyone sits in the motel, I let them know that I'm about to shoot some B-roll, gathering up my equipment and heading out into the heat. Dragging it outside, I set up, sweating even under the evening light. Even this late in the day, the heat was pissing me off. For some reason, it's a lot cooler in Pueblo. My mind drifts back to the many, many days of summer under the blazing sun. The temperature rarely dipping below 100. Oh, God, I hate that shit. I can't do that shit. I'm amazed poor TJ had never had a heat stroke. When I put my eye into the viewfinder, I'm a bit disappointed at how broken down the town looks, even with the amazing backdrop. What a dump. I'll say. It's then that I hear footsteps and talking behind me. I pause my recording and turn around. How's the filming? It's alright. Kinda ran out of sun, but it's okay. Echo looks like crap no matter what kind of light you shoot it in. Do you need us to stay quiet? Nah, I'm just shooting B-rolls. Was about to come back in. Let's stay out here a minute. Carl and Flynn are getting a little loud. Besides, I want to talk to you two. He wraps an arm around Jenna and reaches out to pull me in so that we're both flanking him. I feel my shoulder press into his warm bulk of his side and chest. He'd always been taller than me. My eyes barely come up to his chin, but now it seemed like he was almost twice as wide. He definitely put on more muscle since I last saw him. While he was always pretty muscular, he'd been more on the lean side. Now his chest and biceps pulled his shirt tight. It felt nice, though, like something very sturdy wrapped in velvet. I suppose it was a mixture of adding on both muscle and fat. I'm at least happy that he's gotten over his little defeat to Jenna. Look at us, the OG crew. Leo's strong voice... The OG crew! Leo's strong voice vibrates from his body into mine. The effect is tranquilizing, and I feel myself relax. Together again. The only thing I miss about this town. Leo was referring to the fact that he, Jen, and I were the original three in the group of 6 to become friends. Later, we would add TJ, then Carl, and finally Flynn and Sydney. Leo had really been the one to unite us all. I remember when you first got here, everyone was afraid of you. I remember when I first got here, I found a bunch of gringos. I don't know what that word means. I don't know what it means. So if I just said something bad, I'm sorry. You two, please don't get pissed. Who wouldn't even talk to each other? We all went to the same schools as in Peyton and had our different friends there. When Leo moved in, he thought it was strange that the kids in Echo didn't hang out together. As I entered middle school and high school, I cycled through a ton of different friends, but the ones in Echo always stayed the same. Remember when we'd always have sleepovers at Chase's place? Of course, I'd kick your ass at Claws of Fury all the time. Of Fury. Claws of Fury. Not Claws of Furry. Christ, this channel has fucked me up. I remember. I used to think you guys were only friends with me for my video games. Many times I'd fallen asleep to the flickering of the old CRT television set, watching the outlines of Jenna and Leo twist side to side as they played. I'd wake up hours later only to find them still playing. It was weird. Jenna and Leo get along really well, but there is a bit of competitive streak between the two. Actually, it's one of the few things that gets Leo genuinely angry. I think he even broke one of my controllers once. How long has it been since we first met? Well, when did you move in?
I think it was in 2000.
So take 2015 and subtract 2000. What does that leave you with, Leo? Leo looks sideways at me and smirks. There's a flash of white canine as it appears from under his lips for a moment.
You think yourself a real hotshot now that you're in college, huh?
I smirk back, though I know my canines aren't as impressive. Pretty much, yeah.
Well, you'll always be those little brats to me.
I feel Leo's wagging tail swat me in the butt. Oh my god. I'm not really sure how I feel about that.
Speaking of which, are you two getting along over there?
Jenna looks at me and around Leo's broad chest. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, we haven't had many chances to hang out.
Eh? Why not?
Well, it's college. It's a pretty large university. I don't even think we've seen each other in passing. Yeah, things are different. But Jenna, we should do something together soon, before you graduate. Definitely. Leo still looks a little disappointed that me and Jenna aren't keeping up at the university, but I don't know why. She had her friends, I had mine, and we did talk sometimes. Jenna nudges Leo, causing us all to sway. And speaking of that, when are you going back to Mesa? Mesa is the community college in Peyton. Leo went there for a few semesters before taking a break. And by break, I mean he quit.
We'll see. I'll have to talk to my parents. It's just starting to get really busy.
Why don't they hire more people? You know, you would have graduated by now. You would have had your master's by now. Leo sighs.
It's about committing to the family business, not the help he needs.
Jenna rolls her eyes, blowing out some air and ruffling the tuft of fur on her head. Wolves and their families. You should try thinking and speaking for yourself sometime. If I hadn't done that, I'd still be stuck in that crank house. Jenna flicks her head vaguely in the direction of where she used to live. Jenna is the only one, aside from Carl, who has family still living in Echo. I wonder if she's going to visit them, even though I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to that. I see Leo tighten his arm around her shoulder, but she goes on without missing a beat. You can start with our otter here. I look up, caught unawares. Huh? What? Jenna, I'm serious. Jenna puts her paw up to Leo's face, cutting him off. I am not going to spend this entire week with you asking me when or how you should do it. Let's just rip off the Band-Aid now. Chase? Jenna! There's a warning tone in Leo's voice as he pins back his ears and drops his arms from our shoulders. I already know what's happening. It's been a long time coming. I take a step back and fold my arms, looking to the side. Chase, Leo has some things to say to you, and yes, it's about that. Now I'm going to head back in and make sure Carl doesn't light up the bathroom. Jenna! His tone changing to exasperation as Jenna turns on her heel and leaves. Judging by the curl in her tail, I can tell that she's pretty satisfied with what she'd just done. I return my attention to the road. I couldn't really bring myself to look at him right now. We both stand there for a minute, 3 feet apart. I hear Leo scruff the ground with his foot, then sniff as the dust rises from the ground. I hear him draw in a deep breath. I hear him draw in a breath a few times, as if he's going to say something, but ends up blowing it out with a sigh. We were never good at this, probably why it ended up failing like it did. Leo, I'm sorry, Chase. For what? Not talking to you about this when I should have. Talking to Jenna about it when I should have been talking to you. He reaches out and sits upon my shoulder, the silver anchor on his wrist glinting just a bit in the fading light. He's smiling at me, but I grit my teeth. Why are you still wearing that? His eyes flick from the bracelet and back to my face, expression turning defensive. Why aren't you still wearing yours? Don't you remember what we said? I sigh, looking at the scattering of clouds behind Leo's head. They're tinged a soft pink from the fading sun. The sunset is almost the same color as Leo's fur. Leo, we were teenagers. That's not an answer. He cuts me off and I look back at him. I told you they weren't love bracelets. They weren't just about our relationship. They were about everything. Our friends, family, memories, Echo. I raised my voice above his, cutting him off this time. They were about Echo, Leo. We stand there a while, and Leo's looking closely at me, expectantly, his ears tipped forward. His eyes pierce at me like amber shards. It was always hard to look at him in the eye during our arguments. Hey, there we are! What, do I have to say it? Alright, fine. I fucking hate this place. Everything about it. It's the most miserable goddamn place I've ever been. How many places have you been? Enough to know that it's miserable? Most everyone here is old, obese, on welfare. Half of them are probably on meth. Leo pulls in a deep breath and blows it over my head. I can smell the bell peppers on his breath. No one likes it here, Chase. I mean, it was an anchor. I'm half laughing. Just looking at it makes me feel like I was still tied to this town. I didn't need it reminding me of all that awful stuff. I know it was supposed to symbolize our being each other's rocks or whatever, but it stands for a lot more than that. But a lot of good things happen here, too. No one should forget where they come from. Sometimes I wish I could. At this point, Leo's deflated a bit, going into a slouch, his ears lowered. Wait, you said was. You didn't get rid... No, I still have it. It's just in a drawer in my dorm room. Honestly, if it was anything else, like one of those infinity bracelets we saw, I wouldn't have trouble wearing it. Well, fuck, why didn't you say anything when we were buying them? I didn't know it was going to be a problem. Leo takes a deep breath again before blowing it out, puffing out his cheeks this time. I don't know what puchika mi otter means. He puts a paw to his eyes and holds it there for a few seconds. It's a pose I'm pretty familiar with. Even though I haven't seen it in a few years, I'm hit with a wave of memories, mostly of me frustrating or embarrassing Leo somehow. We decided on the anchors mostly because they look pretty. Leo had referenced some wolf metaphor about roots and how we're always drawn back to them. Also some bullshit about how otters were great sailors, but really it was just an aesthetic. For some reason, over the years, we had begun to associate the anchor with being stuck in Echo. It was when I started connecting the anchor to Sydney that I had taken it off. It was too much. Anyway, Leo brings me back to the present, and I focus back on him. They've mentioned Sydney twice now. Only twice in the entire game that I know of. And it's been in this episode. And they also alluded to something happening regarding Flynn, and maybe the lake. So I'm thinking Sydney drowned, maybe. I don't know. Leo brings me back to the present, and I focus back on him. What I was trying to say is that I'm still not okay with how you left. Leo, I said I was sorry, and I still am, or how you stopped talking to me for a while. Okay, I was a kid. I thought I had a good tactic, like Jenna said, rip off the Band-Aid, you know? We did start talking again. It was more like you punching me in the gut than kicking me in the balls. The problem was that you didn't even give me a chance to say anything, or at least tell me why you broke it off. I stay silent for a while, then finally look up, setting my jaw. Like I said, I was young and dumb. I didn't know how to handle it. I can keep apologizing, or we can move on and make the most of this. We only have a week. We only have 1 week, and I want to have fun. Leo looks to the side, paws on hips, as if contemplating, then looks back at me with a smile. Alright, fine, but don't think you're off the hook. I still want to talk soon. Soon, just not right now. I stand there awkwardly for a few moments, then, because it feels appropriate, I step in to give him a hug. He takes it willingly, and he's warm and strong. For a moment I wonder why the hell I dumped this guy. Jesus Christ. Just then someone lays on the horn as they drive past us, pulling me out of my reverie. Fat! Oh my god, really? I lean back so I can watch the car speed down the empty road. Leo keeps holding me, though. He just chuckles.
Echo hasn't changed much, has it?
No, it hasn't. As we're saying our goodbyes, I remind Leo about the shots I need of the lake. He says he'll talk to the other two about it after they leave. We all say our goodbyes before Leo, Carl, and Flynn take off. TJ takes his usual hour getting ready to bed while Jenna does some homework. By the time I'm finished brushing my teeth, I'm grateful to see them both in bed. I get under the covers next to TJ and lay there for about an hour, staring at the ceiling. Slowly, I slide from under the covers, careful not to wake TJ. Quietly, I slip my jeans on, grab my jacket before heading out the door. And I think we're going to go into this dream next time. It's all spooky and shit, and I want to know what the fuck is happening, but this episode's gone too long as is. So, thank you all very much for watching this episode of Echo. On the next one, we'll see what the fuck is going on here. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I have been the trained unprofessional speaking for the voices in my head when I say until next time. Fare thee well. Bye, everyone!